In the last stream, we were working on setting up a Cursed Earth mob farm over here, which is almost doing too well in terms of the number of mob drops that it is creating, to the point where we are going to have to start this episode by fixing this setup so that we don't end up causing just a staggering amount of lag due to the hundreds of items piling up on the ground there, and so that we don't end up wasting any of those resources. We were, of course, also working on setting up our Tranquility Altar to be as tranquil as we can possibly make it, to give us a massive 200% boost to the amount of life points that we get every time we use the Sacrificial Dagger up in our now Tier 4 Blood Altar. Now, between streams, I have gone ahead and upgraded a few more of these runes around the base. I've added in 3 more runes of self-sacrifice and 2 more speed runes to each of the 4 sides. And with all of these runes of self-sacrifice combined with the 200% boost that we get from the Tranquility Altar, we now get 16,200 life points every time we use the dagger if our health is full. Which is great, because I think we are definitely going to need a ton of life points in today's stream, especially for this very first quest here in the Well quest line. This quest wants us to make this Essentia Icolis. I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we need to make this scythe right here. And to do that, we need to combine a Gausm, Tough Handle, a Tall Binding, a Small Blade, and a Broad Blade with 0 will, thankfully, so we can still just use a Demon Will to make that happen inside the Hellfire Forge. All 4 of these parts are made using the Tinker's Construct Smeltery, which, as you can see, I have moved out of the way since the end of the last stream. What I've done is I've set up a little ladder over here to allow us to get up to the top of the mob farm, and I've basically built the exact same smeltery that we had before, but I've added a second layer of seared brick to the top so that we could put the seared drain 1 block up, so that I didn't have to put the basin in the floor, because if I put the basin in the floor, the basin lets light through, which then reduces the efficiency of our Cursed Earth mob farm. But this is basically ready to go. We just need to get the resources to smelt to make this scythe. Now, to do that, we're going to need these Gorsum ingots, and looking in JEI, these Gorsum ingots are made inside of the alchemy table with this recipe right here. Each one requires 1 slime steel ingot, 1 demonic slate, 1 bioluminescent goo, 1 prismarine crystal, 1 exotic compound, and 1 diamond grit. So the bioluminescent goo, the prismarine crystals, and the exotic compound are all things we've made before, and all things we can fairly easily make again. The demonic slate is just the tier 4 version of the imbued slate, so just like before, we take our rocky dirt, turn it into a blank slate, then into a reinforced slate, then into an imbued slate, and then into a demonic slate. It does cost 15,000 life points just to convert an imbued slate into a demonic slate, and so that's why I think it's going to be useful for us today that we can get 16,000 life points per dagger usage, because it's 15,000 here, plus 5,000 for the imbued slate, that's 20,000, plus another 2,000 here, 22,000, plus the 100. So 22,100 per one of these demonic slates, and if my calculations are right, in order to make this scythe here, we are going to need 14 of these ingots. So we need 14 demonic slates, which is 14 lots of 22,000 life points, or approximately 300,000 life points in total. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Hopefully the speed runes are going to help us get that done somewhat quickly. And then finally we need diamond grit, which we can make by just throwing diamonds into the crushing wheels. And the slime steel is also fairly straightforward. It's made in the mixer with iron, slime sky, and seared bricks. Seared bricks we should have a couple of left, although not too many, given that we upgraded the smeltery. Iron we've got a little bit of, and we can obviously make more with the iron that we have over in here. And then sky slime we're actually getting from our mob farm. We've got 2,000 sky slime in the chest here, and in fact, if I scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that the vast majority of our chest now is filled up with mob drops. And we do have some space left. We've got enough space to run this, I think, for at least the next episode, but we should probably look at doing a couple of things here. One, we can make the chest bigger to store more stuff, but we should probably also look at giving each of the mob drops their own storage drawer, and then giving each storage drawer a void upgrade so that we can kind of delete any excess mob drops once we get to a certain amount, because we don't necessarily need to be storing, tens of thousands of slime balls. I think a few thousand is probably going to be enough. Either way, the first thing I do want to work on here is figuring out the mob drop problem here. For that, we just need to import faster from this chest, because you'll see that whilst all the items are being picked up, they're not being pulled into the colossal chest fast enough. Thankfully, it's a fairly easy fix. If we type upgrade into JEI, these upgrades right here are from Simple Storage Network. We want the stack and speed upgrade. The speed upgrade makes it faster. The stack upgrade increases the amount of items taken at a time to 1 stack. Right now, you'll see it takes a few items at a time, maybe 4, but it doesn't take any more than that. If we put a stack upgrade in, it should take 64 items at a time, making it much faster. Thankfully, super easy to make. 2 blaze powder, 2 redstone, and a network cable. And then the speed upgrade, also fairly straightforward, just 2 gold ingots instead of 2 glowstone. And you can put, I believe, up to 3 of these into the pipe down here alongside the stack upgrade. Something like this. And with that, it should now start, hopefully, to pull these items in a fair bit faster. Let me organize the inventory, because the problem that we kind of run into is it can pull a stack at a time, but it looks like it's working from the first slot, and the arrows are kind of coming in one at a time, which is a little bit unfortunate. That could be potentially a problem with the absorption hopper. Let me kind of middle mouse button a bunch here to get all of this sorted out. Thankfully, one thing I do see here is bone marrow. I wasn't quite sure if we were going to get any of the biomancy drops from our little setup here. It looks like we do, and that's actually tremendously useful for us because of the fact that one of the first things I do want to make today is the temporal pouch. This is made with 2 blocks of gold, 5 leather, 1 bone marrow, and 1 leather. Bone marrow, by the way, you get from skeleton horses, skeletons, strays, or wither skeletons. The only thing we don't have here is 2 blocks of gold, which we can, of course, craft, and then 1 eye of ender, which we can also, of course, now craft, thanks to the fact that we've managed to get 350 ender pearls from our mob farm. And for those who are unaware, this is essentially like the time in a bottle. And for those who don't know what the time in a bottle is, this is essentially going to store time while we hold it. You'll see at the bottom there, it contains 9 seconds, 10 seconds, 11 seconds. Every single second that we have this in our inventory, it is going to increase in terms of how much time is in it. And then going forward, we can right-click on certain blocks and certain machines around our base to speed them up at the cost of some of that time. And so it kind of allows us to save up our time while we're holding it and then use that to make things faster in the future, including things like the blood altar and including things like our biomancy machines, which we're going to use a fair bit of today because there's a lot of biomancy involved in the creation of this Gaussium ingot, and also, by the looks of it, in the creation of the ruby essence down here, which is what we need if we're going to get into Project E with the Philosopher's Stone. For now, though, I'm hopeful that over here, this should be fast enough to kind of clear the backlog of items on the floor, and I'm hopeful that once the backlog is cleared, we should be, again, pulling items in fast enough to where we're able to move them out faster than they're being created. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see if that is indeed the case, but I think it should be fine. And I'm also very happy to see that we have killed a substantial number of witches. And just a minute ago, I was showing the Twitch chat that we had 0 glowstone in the system, and so now we've got 216 just from picking up what was on the floor there. So thankfully, we're not going to have to go through the create process for making glowstone in the future, and that does make making runes like the Rune of Self-Sacrifice here just that much easier, because the Rune of Self-Sacrifice is pretty straightforward. The only thing you need is a reinforced slate, which is now super easy for us to make, and glowstone with stone and a blank rune. So really not too difficult at all, and so if we wanted to, we could even push the amount of life points that we get even higher. Not that I think that's going to be strictly necessary. So, real quick, I do have one more thing I want to make before we start working on this scythe, and that is the feeding upgrade from the Sophisticated Backpacks mod. This is also now pretty easy for us to make, given that we have an ender pearl. We do need an upgrade base. This is 4 string, 4 iron, and 1 leather. That's easy enough. And then on top of that, we need 1 golden apple, which we can make, 1 golden carrot, which I believe we should also be able to make from the carrots that we made last episode. We didn't end up planting them down by our tranquility altar, but we do still have them. And then glistening melon we can also make, because of course we're getting infinite melons from our little botany pots up by our nutrient bar system. And with all of those, we can get a feeding upgrade, which we can then place directly into our backpack. So B to open it up, and then on the left here, there is a slot for that feeding upgrade. And as it says in the tooltip, this will feed the player with food from the backpack's inventory. And so essentially, if I put my nutrient bars into the backpack here, and in fact, if I go ahead and get a few more stacks of nutrient bars and kind of fill the backpack with nutrient bars, what we should be able to do is over here, we can use the dagger to spend all our hearts. We're then going to lose hunger in order to refill those hearts. And then in theory, the backpack should then automatically re-feed us these nutrient bars to keep our saturation full. So real quick, let me see here. If I take some blank slates out of here and we leave those in to kind of drain some of the life points, it's still not incredibly fast, and I am still contemplating putting 8 more speed upgrades kind of around the outside edge here, filling in those last couple of blank runes just to make it that little bit faster. But you'll see that once this gets down to maybe below 30 buckets, we'll give this a go. So once we have a demonic slate, you'll see we now have 20 buckets of life essence left. First things first, if we use this, I think we should go up to about 36 buckets. Yeah, 36.2, which is the 16,200 I mentioned earlier. On top of that, if we run around, we should hopefully hear our backpack feed us. Look at that. Automatically being fed the nutrient bars and automatically refilling our hunger, making it substantially easier for us to do this again and basically completely fill our blood altar. Nice. And so getting the 14 demonic slates required for the 14 Gorsum ingots shouldn't be too difficult. Now, back to the Gorsum ingots, what else do we need here? We need diamond grit or diamond dust. Right now we've got 6 diamonds. We are going to have to get a few more of those to get us back up to 14. That's fine. It's just a case of doing this recipe again, which is kind of more of the same because we do need the bioluminescent goo and the exotic dust for the creation of these ingots anyway. And so really the only thing that we've not done before is the slime steel ingot. If I wanted to get 14 of these, I just need 7 iron ingots, 7 sky slime balls, and 7 seared bricks. So 7 seared bricks looks like it's going to be very doable for us. 7 iron ingots, I believe, is also very doable for us as well, although we should probably look at getting some more iron smelting sooner rather than later. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got a staggering amount of sky slime now, and so getting 7 of those also very straightforward. The only thing we don't have is fuel in our blaze burner, but if we quickly do this, this, and this, and then grab a little bit of coal out of here, we should be able to feed the blaze burner, and we should be able to very quickly get the 14 slime steel ingots required for the scythe. And so really, everything else here is just kind of doing more of what we've already done. You know, we can take our prismarine and convert that into prismarine crystals. How much prismarine do we have? We've got 18 prismarine. We need 14 prismarine crystals. I did notice that we already have 2, and so we only need 12 more prismarine crystals. So let's get those placed into here, transforming into those crystals. Over here, the slime steel is done. Fantastic. And so really, all I'm going to do now, chat, is take our slates. We have 6, and we need 7 more, I guess. Again, I do believe we have enough gravel and enough dirt to make some more of the rocky dirt here. If we get 9 more, we can then ideally put this back, and then very quickly do something like this, 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 and like this. That gets us more than enough blank slates, which we can then slowly but surely turn into demonic slates. And once we have the demonic slates, at that point, we just need to do the diamond craft again for the diamond dust. We need to make 14 exotic compound, which is just more exotic dust and more mineral fragments, and get 14 bioluminescent goo, which we might be pretty close to having. Yeah, we got 16, look at that. How much mineral dust do we have? We got 5, and then how much exotic dust? We got 22, actually. That is a lot more than I expected. I expected us to be quite low on quite a few of those, but to be fair, none of that is too difficult. Diamond-wise, what do we need here? We need 2 exotic dust, 3... Do we have any gem fragments is the next question. I don't think we do. We do, we got 15, which look at that, fantastic. I don't know if we're getting these from the mob farm. I don't think we are. I might have just made a few too many the last time we did this. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 exotic dust, 3 goo, 3 gem fragments, and then we do need 1 of the exotic compound. This is the only bit that's slightly tricky. For that we need nutrients and bile. Again, none of that is particularly difficult for us to get. Nutrients we have, and we can craft infinite of these from the nutrient paste. Bile we also have, and we've got bile glands to make more bile should we need it. And then we just need a vial, not to be confused with bile. And all of that can be combined over in the biolab here if we do this, this, and this, and of course give it at least 1 of these nutrient bricks. That's going to get us the first here, organic compound. Put that back in with 2 of these and 1 of these. That gets us the exotic compound. We just need to do this like 14 more times in order to get 14 exotic compound for the actual ingot recipe. But back over here, that's basically all of the diamonds taken care of unless I've done this wrong, which I have. I need one more goo and I need one more gem fragment. Once we have those 10 diamonds, we can then take 14 of our diamonds and drop those into our crushing wheels here. Again, still don't have a good way of getting up here, which is definitely something we should look to fix. But if we do this, I'm fairly certain it's a 100% chance, since I believe we should get 14 diamond dust from this crushing. We did. Nice. Cool. So we'll take those. Can I leave them in here or do they get taken out? No, I can. That's good. So we'll leave those in there. That is fine. And now we'll also put the slime steel in there as well, I guess, now that we have it. Let's take you and throw that in as well. What else did we need? So now it's just a case of getting the bioluminescent goo, which we basically have. We don't need one more, which shouldn't be too tricky. Over here, I think our prismarine crystals, yep, are basically done. And of course, we have 2 more of those in the system. We'll drop those in as well. And so real quick here, chat, all I'm going to do is quickly craft up 14 more exotic compound and then convert 13 more of our blank slates into demonic slates using the blood altar. Okay, so I've made all of the demonic slates, and so now we have basically everything apart from the exotic compound, and this situation here is the exact situation where the temporal pouch works so well. So you'll see right here, we got our copper ingots, and we're slowly but surely turning them into these mineral fragments. But if we shift right click with the temporal pouch, we can make this 2 times, 4 times, or 8 times faster. And that only took 3 minutes out of our temporal pouch. And now you'll see this is much quicker at making these mineral fragments, which makes it a lot easier for us to get this kind of stuff going forward. And then if we are fast enough, we can also grab maybe some like ender pearls out of our system and kind of put those in as well to get a bunch of exotic dust. And this just makes it so much easier to get this without having to wait for the decomposer to do its thing. And it also makes it easier inside of here because we can speed this part up as well. Yeah, this was so much faster with the temporal pouch. Again, if I do this and then we do this and this, you'll see it's much quicker with that speed boost. It makes getting the 14 exotic compound here just that much faster. And actually, I think we have everything we need here to get all 14 exotic compound. And so we should, I guess 16 exotic compound, but we should now be pretty much good to go. I think we have everything. So back over here, I have been warned by the Twitch chat. So first of all, this is going to drain 5,000 LP. How many LP do we have in our blood network? We have got not 5,000 is the answer. Thankfully, of course, we have a good amount in here, and we can get more in here very quickly now. So that's going to fill up our blood network. But then back over here, I've been told that I should put the exotic compound in one at a time, because if you put the full stack in, it will use it, and then it'll put an empty vial into this slot, thus deleting all of your other exotic compound. And so what we are going to do is just put in the demonic slates, like this. And then we do have to put our blood orb in there. I don't know if it matters which blood orb we put in. It does. It has to be either a master or an archmage blood orb. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blood orb out of here. I'm going to link this to myself for one. Let's put this one in here. They're both linked to each other, by the way. It's all one network. And so you'll see the number here is going up. And so now if I put the master blood orb in here, that's going to go ahead and complete the first few crafts while draining life points from this network. But we are obviously gaining life points over here from this network. And so we should be able to hopefully kind of put them back in as we go. And yeah, you'll see once it's done, it puts the empty glass vial there. And so we want to make sure we put these in one at a time so that we don't end up losing any. But yeah, we kind of just need to wait now. I guess we could try doing something like this. And if we had, whoops, no. Okay, don't make the same mistake I almost made there. Again, put them in one at a time and then take them out one at a time. It does work. It's just a little bit tedious. And especially if you're kind of waiting on the, you got to make sure you have enough life points as well, which it looks like we do for the time being. But yeah, just make sure you don't put more than one in at a time, otherwise you might lose it. And not too long later, we have all 14 of these ingots, which, as I mentioned before, I think is enough for us to get all of the required parts up in the smeltery. Now, before we can do that, there are still a few more steps we need to take, because in order to make all of these parts, we first need to have a cast for those parts. And so I think that we are first going to have to get ourselves a part builder, which thankfully is very easy for us to make. I also need to get into the habit of not running back to my little crafting request table over here, because we do have the wireless remote. The part builder is 2 patterns and 2 planks. The patterns we have made before, they're just planks and sticks. Apparently planks are something we're lacking. That's fine. We can craft some up using our dark oak here. And then if we craft those planks with the sticks, like so, we can get some patterns. I'm a little concerned that our chest might be full, actually. Let me quickly check here. Yeah, okay, so we upgraded our importer, but the mob farm is just too powerful, and now our chest is not big enough to handle the influx of items. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make this colossal chest bigger. Thankfully, I'm fairly certain that so long as you don't move the colossal chest core, you should be good. The last time I moved this, because previously we had this core in the center, I had to put down a bunch of chests, empty the colossal chest out, and then move everything out of it to move the core. I'm fairly certain, though, that you'll see here, if we press shift, the items are stored in the core. And so I believe that if we make the chest bigger, it will, as long as we don't break the core, it should just reform as a bigger chest with more space. Now, we do also have the option of using larger items. The unfortunate thing is that there's a chest upgrade tool. Upgrade a colossal chest to the next tier when having all the required items in your inventory. Interesting. So if I have, this seems like the kind of thing that will break when I try and do it, but it looks like if I get another colossal chest wall, do we not have any colossal chest wall left? We don't. Okay. But if I get a colossal chest wall, and then I craft that with some sticks, I assume at that point I could maybe just craft a bunch of iron colossal chest wall, which is this stuff here, and an iron colossal chest core, and then right-click on the core to upgrade everything at the same time. There is then also a gold colossal chest, a diamond colossal chest, and an obsidian colossal chest. We actually might be able to go straight up to gold, because we do currently have more gold than iron, and we do still have the ability, of course, to get even more gold via our smoking setup over here. If we move this back and do something like that, we can get even more gold fairly quickly. The same is true for iron as well, but I think the gold is bigger. So if I did, first of all, let's get the tool, because apparently the tool is going to tell us what we need. It should be pretty straightforward what we need. If we do this, and then over here, not enough items for upgrading this chest. You need 1 core and 25 walls of at least material copper. Okay, 1 wall. Oh, no, yes, of course, this is washing, chat. That's my bad. I need to move that out of the way and get a bucket, right? And then do something like this. And like that. Perfect. Thank you, chat. That is correct. I can't put these buckets back now because the chest is filled up with random mob junk. Speaking of random mob junk, we should also look at setting up a system to delete things like the bows, because right now we've got a couple of bows. They're not taking up too much space, but they're definitely things that we don't really want clogging up our chest going forward. So the colossal chest here should be fairly straightforward. If I do this, can I make 25 of these? I'm intrigued at the fact that the amount of gold there is not going down. Okay, it did go down. It just took a second. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was going to go down in real time, but I guess not. Can I make 25 of these? I think the answer is definitely yes. Let's make 26 so that we can turn one of those into an interface like this. And I think that's... Oh, no, I need a core, not an interface. That's my bad. Let me do this. I think it's a core, right? It is a core. We don't need the interface. Let me make one more wall. And then if I just right-click with the upgrade tool, look at that. We just get a new colossal chest that hopefully has all of the same stuff in it, but is now over twice as big. Look at that. This is where the old chest left off, and you'll see that we've got more than 50% extra space. That's definitely not really a solution to the problem that we were having. It kind of just kicks the can down the road, but for the time being, I'm completely fine with that. I'm completely fine with a good old-fashioned bit of can kicking. In fact, what I might do temporarily until we fix the issue is kind of just take out these looting upgrades, because they are, I think, the main culprit for our current problem, because we're just getting so many mob drops from every single mob killed that our system can't keep up. So we'll put that back in once we've upgraded probably to some storage drawers with some void upgrades, but for the time being, let's see if we can't get this tool by pivoting back over to the part builder. So now that we've figured that out, can we get ourselves, hopefully, some planks and craft them with sticks to get the blank pans? We can. And then can we craft that into a part builder? You would think so, but for some reason, it doesn't want to do it. That's fine. If we do this, and we once again put those aforementioned planks on the bottom, we get a part builder. For now, we'll put that down right about here. And inside of the part builder, we can put in more blank pans, which I will go ahead and make even more of here. Let me craft. That is not at all what I wanted to craft. Let me try that again. Let's get some more logs and do something like this to give us a bunch of planks. And then if we do this and this, we'll craft a couple of patterns and we'll place those into the part builder like this. And so we want to get a tool binding pot. Now, we do need to make these out of a basic material. Unfortunately, I'm fairly certain this won't work. It doesn't. This has to be done via the smeltery. Thankfully, things like cobblestone, I'm fairly certain, will work. So we can make a cobblestone binding tool. We then, let's go ahead and bookmark this real quick, this recipe, and kind of swap out that pre-existing recipe. We then need a tough handle. We also need a broad blade, which is down here, and we need a small blade, which is up here. And essentially what we want to do here is we want to make casts of all of these. Ideally, I think we're going to go with the gold casts, and if I'm not mistaken, it's one gold ingot per gold cast. So we need 4 gold ingots inside of our smeltery. And so if we do this, thankfully one of the benefits of making the smeltery bigger is we do get more slots to smelt items in, but up here we should get 4 gold. Now, one thing we're also going to need that we currently don't have is a casting table. Right now we just have the casting basin. Thankfully the casting table, super easy to make. It looks like this. Nice. And if we go put that down in place of the casting basin, so right about here, what we should be able to do is place in a pot, like the tool binding, and then we should be able to pull 1 ingot worth of gold over that pot. That should delete the stone tool in the process. It does, but it gives us a tool binding gold cast. And the idea here is that we're going to do that for each one of these parts. We're then going to place all 14 of these Gaussum ingots into the smeltery, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put these casts back in one at a time and pull the molten Gaussum out and into the casts to make these parts. Once we have the parts, we can just combine them up in the Hellfire Forge, and we should be good to go. So let's see here. If we right-click the faucet, that should pull enough molten Gaussum out into the new cast that we've made, and boom, we have a small blade. We can do the same with a large blade. This one here takes by far the most, I believe 720 millibuckets in total. It does indeed. And then after that, it is just the tough handle and the binding. This also takes the longest to cool as well. I think the binding here is the fastest. I think this was just 90 millibuckets in total. So that should be a very quick cast cooling setup. It is fantastic. And then the tough handle, let me just make sure that's right, is indeed should be the remaining Gaussum. And if my calculations are correct, that should be every single last drop taken care of. And once that's cooled, we will take that, we'll take this, we'll put these back into the system for the time being. And now down on the lower level, we should be able to combine all of these into our Hellfire Forge. The only thing that we're missing at this point is another demonic will, which we do have. Fantastic. Boom. And very slowly but surely, we finally get ourselves the scythe. Nice. Now this thing, I am led to believe, is quite powerful. It says in the quest book here that this is a custom item. Its main use is to obtain essences when using it with the right mouse button on particular blocks. For more information, which blocks give you essences, look into REI. So, one of the first quests here is for a machine frame from Thermal Expansion. To make it, you need 4 iron, 4 glass, and a tin gear. Tin is the only item there that we've not yet acquired. Iron we have, and glass we have. Tin, though, we don't have. However, you can craft tin, I believe, using tin essence. And this little information tab up here tells us that we can get tin essence by right-clicking this new scythe onto an acceleration rune. So I don't believe that we have an acceleration rune. We don't, but I'm hoping we can make one. The acceleration rune requires 1 speed rune, 1 demonic slate, 2 gold, and 4 buckets. Now, I did make 8 more speed runes earlier, whilst we were making all of the demonic slates, and it turns out I accidentally made 1 extra speed rune. And so we actually have that ready to go already. Not that the speed runes are particularly difficult to make, and thanks to the mob farm, we do now have just 400 sugar hanging around. We don't really need to be growing it anymore. Again, that's one thing that I believe the witches do drop for us, as well as the glowstone. And so for us, we're just missing 1 more bucket, as well as 1 more demonic slate. So slate-wise, we have a blank slate here, and all we need to do is get enough life essence into the altar to actually make 1 more demonic slate, which again, shouldn't really take too long, especially with our new auto feeder. If we move around a little bit here, we are going to very quickly refill our health, and once we're back up to full, we can just right-click with the dagger, and that should be more than enough life essence to get us 1 demonic slate. And with those speed runes, it's now much faster than it was previously. And so if we just go ahead and do something like this, although I guess we need to put our Master Blood Orb into that recipe, which is currently in the alchemy table. Let me try that 1 more time. Boom and boom. And so if I just place this down like so, I believe that I should then be able to take the scythe and just right click. Look at that. That is a little bit crazy because it means that we can just right-click rapidly onto the acceleration rune and we just acquire tin essence. As much of it as we can carry for as fast as we can right-click. And then from there, we can just craft that into tin. And then from there, we can take that tin, and of course, as the recipe showed, we can just craft that into tin gears. I think the tin gear required an iron ingot in the middle. Never mind, I am incorrect. It required an iron nugget in the middle. That is even better. Let me do this, and let me do this. Fantastic. That gets us one of 2 tin gears. I don't think it really matters which one we make. And with that, we should be able to make ourselves a machine frame. And this is kind of the way that a lot of essence and a lot of resources are required going forward. If we click on the scythe quest here and we hover over the little arrow on the right, for those who don't know, you can click view dependencies or view dependents. The dependencies are the quests that you have to complete in order to get to this quest. So you'll see that here we had to complete this quest on the previous page to get to it. And then the dependents quest shows you the quest kind of unlocked by this. And essentially, I think that this is basically maybe an exhaustive list of all of the different essences that we can make from the scythe. There are a few other ones like the machine frame and the dynamos that are just quests. But for example, if we look at a random one, like let's say ghast essence here, ghast essence is made by using the scythe on an angel block. Nice. We can then look again at a different one. What else do we have here? We've got stuff like water essence. Water essence you can get, you guessed it, with the scythe on crying obsidian. And so there's basically just a bunch of different blocks that we have to create and place down. And then once we have them, we can then generate an infinite amount of a specific essence and therefore a specific resource using our scythe, making this an incredibly powerful tool for us going forward. We do seem to have lost our saturated tau seed. That's fine. We can always get more should we need them in the future, although I don't really think we do need more going forward. But now our main goal, I think, is going to be to try and get towards this Philosopher's Stone. To get here, we need a ruby, because the Philosopher's Stone is actually super easy to craft. You just take a ruby and then sand it with the sandpaper and you get a Philosopher's Stone. The ruby is made from 8 ruby essence. You get 6 at a time. And the ruby essence is made by crafting together signalum essence, redstone essence, and diamond essence. Now, this is where things are going to get a little bit tedious from a crafting perspective, because almost none of these are made using the scythe. It does appear that actually we can just duplicate redstone now. If we take the redstone that we currently have and we do something like this and get a redstone block, we can place that down and then we can just scythe it from our redstone. We totally can. Look at that. That is insanity. And then we can just take this, craft it, and I think we get like 8 redstone at a time, 12 redstone at a time. That is absolute madness. So we now have an infinite amount of redstone. The other two, though, those being the signalum and the diamond, are a little trickier. Signalum we make in the biolab. We combine redstone and lumium. Lumium we also make in the biolab. We combine electrum and refined glowstone. And you can see where this is getting a little tedious. We need silver and gold to make electrum. Silver we can get from the charging rune. Let me go ahead and bookmark charging rune. That's this guy right here. And then gold we can get from a gold block. Okay, that's actually completely fine. Gold. Let me make another block. We are almost out of gold thanks to that new colossal chest. But if we do this and this, we get our gold essence. Fantastic. We'll put that in the system for now. But silver there is not going to be too bad, I don't think. After that, the diamond essence is made with rock crystal and osmium. Rock crystal is amethyst and stone. Both of these we've made already, actually. So amethyst we can make in the blood altar. However, we can also make it by right-clicking on a block of amethyst. And I think it's probably well worth crafting a block of amethyst. In fact, do we have what it takes? We do. Nice. Let me go ahead and put that down as well. We're going to have to find a place to put all these, right? We're going to have to set up a wall somewhere with all of the different blocks that we can right-click for all of the different resources, because this is really not the best place for it. But then the other item was osmium. Oh, we needed stone, of course. And stone is just stone. Okay, sure. Let me get a single piece of stone. We'll put that down right about here. And boom. Fantastic. That's stone essence taken care of. And what about the osmium? Osmium essence is titanium and mithril. Titanium is tungsten and steel. Tungsten is ice and fiery. Ice is ice or blue ice. Fiery is fire and refined glowstone. You can see what I mean here about this potentially being a little bit tedious. We're going to need a lot of different blocks Like, some of them not too difficult, but there's just a very deep rabbit hole here that we have to go down in order to get all of this stuff. We need compressed iron and creeper. Creeper doesn't have a recipe, interestingly enough. Mithril here requires titanium and chrome. Chrome requires zinc and pig iron. Zinc is made by right-clicking on a block of zinc. That's fine, we have zinc. Pig iron is pig essence with the scythe. Pig essence also doesn't have a recipe. I'm being told by the Twitch chat, though, that we can, if we kill a mob with the scythe, we might get that mob's essence. Does it tell us that in here? It doesn't. That's, not made particularly clear, but let me give that a try. We do have a pig, right? Oh, no, we don't have a pig. Did we kill the pig? We must have done. Okay, well, let me try that. I was going to say with a creeper. We don't really have a creeper to test on either because all our creepers are being killed instantly. But let me see if we can't make the pig seeds again. I think we should be able to make them. For whatever reason, the pig seeds that I want, which are these seeds down here, don't show up in JEI. That's fine. They just require the rocky dirt. They're actually the easiest of the seeds to make. Rocky dirt, super easy. And then nature essence, we can just use some more bamboo. Let's do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not quite sure why I just got the nature essence quest unlocked, but real quick, let's get a pig to spawn, and then let's see if we do get pig essence by killing the pig with the scythe. All right, so one quick pig here. I did craft some carrots using nature essence to make it grow faster, and it turns out you can right-click grass now to get both the nature essence and the earth essence. So getting nature essence, super easy. Let me try killing this pig with a scythe. I'm being told it's not guaranteed, but no, totally does work. We did get some pig essence there, which is interesting. It does make it a little bit tedious to get, but I guess we can grow the pigs. That's not too bad. But it makes the creeper essence maybe the hardest to get because there are no creeper seeds to the best of my knowledge. Like, these are the ones from Mystical Agriculture, but I don't believe we can make these. Whereas this creeper essence, I think we just have to kill some creepers, so we might have to kind of hijack this setup here to make that happen. But yeah, basically now we need to work our way through all of the crafts to get down here. The quest book wants us to go through and make a bunch of alloys first, although I don't think those are really necessary for getting the Philosopher's Stone, because most of what's here I think we can get in other ways. Let's try getting the Signalum first because it seems easier. Redstone we have. Lumium was Electrum and refined glowstone. Electrum was gold and silver. So gold and silver, did we have both of those? We got gold. Was silver the one that was tricky for us to get? Silver essence was acquired. Charging rune, of course, we have that bookmarked. So the charging rune needs, of course, another demonic slate. Why wouldn't it require a demonic slate? It'd be too easy if it didn't need another demonic slate. And then, other than that, we have everything we need. Okay, so it's just one more demonic slate. That's completely fine. And that will get us infinite amounts of silver. So it's really not too bad, to be fair. And then, what else did we need? We also needed to get the refined glowstone. So refined glowstone is glowstone and obsidian. I saw that glowstone is, as you might expect, just glowstone. So we take the glowstone, we put it down on the wall, and then we right-click to get glowstone essence. That is completely fine. Let me take this demonic slate, and let's craft that charging rune. We'll also throw in the blood orb to make that happen. Fantastic. Let's get that down onto the wall, and let's go ahead and give that a right-click. Fantastic. That gets a silver essence. So let's start working on this. Let's do silver and gold over in the biolab here. I don't know if we're going to need too many of these. I guess we should look. We need at least 3 Signalum essence, I think, because 3 Signalum, 3 redstone, and 3 diamond would get us 9 ruby, and it takes 8 here. So we're going to need 3 Signalum, which means we just need 2 lumium, I think. And you get 2 lumium at a time anyway. So I think this is actually fine. If we just do gold and silver, like that, that gets us electrum. And then for the lumium, we need the refined glowstone. We do need refined obsidian, which is obsidian and iron. Iron we have, obsidian we don't have, although we did get some obsidian, I believe, from the hidden realm. And it looks like for obsidian, you guessed it, we just put this down and then right-click it. Lovely. And then iron essence we don't have, but again, I believe that's just a block of iron placed down like this. Totally is. Fantastic. And so with the iron essence and the obsidian essence, we can put those in. Boom and boom. One of them has to go in here. I don't think it matters which one you do, but as long as one of them is in this slot and one of them is in the other slot, it should be fine. And then refined obsidian with glowstone gets us the refined glowstone. Again, we want to make sure we hold some of these in our inventory. And then it was refined glowstone and electrum that gets us lumium, right? Nice. And then it was lumium plus redstone? Yeah, to get us signalum, both of which we should have. I guess we used all of our redstone making actual redstone, so we don't currently have that, but that is fine. Let me quickly scythe up a little bit more redstone here. I think 2 is going to do more than what we need, and so back over here we'll do this and this. Of course, with one of them down in the center slot, that gets us more than enough signalum essence. Redstone essence we have, and so really now it's just the diamond essence. Now, I say just, but I do think that the diamond essence is going to be the trickiest bit here. So rock crystal was stone and amethyst. So I think both of those we had, right? Let me grab the amethyst and let me grab the stone. We'll put both of those into the biolab. We'll start making some of that rock crystal essence. Boom and boom. We'll do 2 batches. Perfect. We can put the rest away. After that, let me bookmark the diamond essence here because this is what we need. We need osmium and rock crystal. So osmium here is the next one. Titanium and mithril. Mithril was chrome and titanium. So it's titanium twice. Titanium, tungsten, and steel. Tungsten is ice and fire. Ice is regular ice. Can we make regular ice? We can if we make a blast chiller. This is a machine that's going to allow us to turn water into ice at the cost of power. So we'll bookmark that and we'll potentially come back to that in a second, although we might not have too much time. Steel is compressed iron and gunpowder. Compressed iron is iron essence just compressed. That's actually the easiest of the recipes we've seen so far, I think. Let's do this. That gets us compressed iron. Fantastic. We'll hold that in our inventory for now because we need to use that with, was it the creeper essence? Steel, yeah, creeper essence. So we are going to have to kill some kind of creeper to get the creeper essence. That's fine. We'll figure that out in just a second. Is there anything else we can do? The mithril required chrome. Chrome was zinc and pig iron. Pig iron is iron and pig. Both of those we have. We've got pig essence. We just made it. And I believe that if we don't have iron essence, we can make some more, but we do. Fantastic. So let's do iron and pig. Gets us pig iron, and then pig iron plus zinc. So zinc we don't have, although I do believe that we saw if we take 9 zinc ingots, we can craft that into a zinc block. We can add that to the wall of stuff, and we can get zinc essence. Perfect. Let me throw that into here, like so. Do we get blaze powder from our mob farm? We don't. There's no blaze powder, unfortunately, chat. That would have helped us in terms of making ice, but alas, not something we're getting. The chrome, though, is then used for the mineral. So now I think it's just titanium that we need. That requires the steel, and it requires the tungsten. The tungsten does also require fiery. Fiery is refined glowstone and fire. So fire, we just use it on fire. Okay. I wonder if the campfire counts. I'm going to assume it doesn't, but I'm going to give it a try, just in case it does. No, it doesn't. That's fine, though. We can take our flint and steel, and we can just light anything, really. If I just do this and this, we don't need that much fire to where we can leave it to burn, although the nether woods obviously don't burn. And what else did we need there? This is so hard to keep track of in my head. We needed to make tungsten, which is fiery, which is refined glowstone, which we already have, right? Refined glowstone, yep, and fire. Let's go combine both of those in, you guessed it, the biolab. Boom, and boom. Okay, so I think at this point, there are 2 things we need. We need a blast chiller, which I think we can almost make, actually. To make it, we need blocks of signalum. Okay, so this is where the quest book is saying, hey, Isaac, I know you've tried to skip this section right here, but you can't really do that. The blast chiller quest is right there. We have to complete the signalum quest to do it. And so I do believe that we are going to have to craft up a pyrolyzer and an induction smelter and kind of work our way down through these alloys here to get to signalum so that we can make the blast chiller, so that we can make ice for the ruby essence. And we're also going to have to figure out how in the world we're going to kill a creeper. It's possible we could maybe try and... It's tricky to do because the Cursed Earth farm works so much worse when it's not in complete darkness, as you can see right here. But if we can kind of peek in and kind of hit a creeper as it's close to death, we might be able to kind of cheese one of the creeper essence. Hey, we got some creeper essence. Nice. Okay, so I just stood here and then kind of killed basically every mob that came in, slowly but surely, to get essence. We didn't need to kill every mob that came in, but the scythe is pretty powerful here. It's got 21 attack damage, and the creeper just comes in. And as the creeper comes in, you can hit it, and there's a chance you get creeper essence, which is exactly what we did. So real quick, let me put the bit of glass back here. I think 1 creeper essence should be fine. I say get the glass here. I'm pretty sure my collector has collected that glass. Let me put that back down. And so with the creeper essence, I think 2 is enough because, again, looking back through this here, we were after osmium. Osmium required titanium. Titanium required steel, and steel required compressed iron and creeper, of course. Compressed iron we made. Creeper we now have. Let's do this and this. We do have enough to make another 2 steel should we need it, but I'm hopeful that we don't. And so now we can take that steel and kind of do nothing with it because we need titanium for the 2 crafts required now, and titanium requires tungsten. Okay, and the tungsten, of course, is where we need the ice shard. So let's see if we can't get the ice. So for the ice, we have to go through the quest line. The quest line wants us to make an induction smelter and a pyrolyzer. For that, we're going to need at least 1 more machine frame, because I think we made 1 earlier. The induction smelter is made with a blast furnace, which we found in the Hidden Realm, some sand. We need 2 uranium gears of all things. Is uranium essence an easy one for us to acquire? It's slime and lumium essence. The answer is no, it's not that easy for us to acquire. We can get more lumium essence via a lumium block. Lumium is electrum and refined glowstone. That is awkward. The redstone flux coil is easy enough. It's redstone and gold. We need both of those. And the pyrolyzer is also not too bad. This one is nether bricks, which we can make from nether essence, which we can, of course, get via the blood altar with netherrack. Netherrack we do now have, and of course, our blood altar is now much faster, and life essence is substantially easier for us to come by, and so getting a couple of these shouldn't be too difficult. Fantastic. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. That gets us the nether brick for the pyrolyzer, and the blaze powder we have, we're just missing the Constantan gears. Constantan is an alloy that we can make in the induction smelter that we've not yet made. So the trouble here is that we need to get uranium, and it's not going to be difficult, I don't think. It's just going to be a bit of a pain because we need so much essence. We need 8 uranium essence, which means that we need to get 4 lumium and 4 slime. Slime essence we don't get, but we might have some because I did kill a few slimes. Yeah, we got 7 there, which is good. And then lumium essence-wise, we got 2 lumium essence. We are going to get pretty close with just this and this. That's going to take us to 4 uranium, but we do need 8 in order to make the induction smelter here. And as far as lumium goes, it might not be a terrible idea to try and get enough. It's going to be awkward. It's not that bad, to be fair. Like, glowstone and refined obsidian are now infinite. And so real quick, I think I just need to try and get enough lumium essence to craft a block of lumium, and then going forward, we don't have to run through this chain every time. We can just click on the lumium block and get unlimited lumium essence. Okay, so a little bit more biolab crafting later. We've got 62 electrum essence, and we've got 52 refined glowstone essence, and with the help of our temporal pouch here, we can get a bunch of lumium essence very quickly, which we can then craft into lumium ingots, and once we have at least 9 of those, we can make a block of lumium, which is then infinite lumium going forward. So we can just then right-click this onto here, and then right-click it, and look at that. Lumium out the wazoo. Fantastic. So now getting the uranium should be a fair bit easier, because now we just need slime essence. I say a fair bit easier. The slime essence is still going to be a little tricky to come by, because I've also been informed by the Twitch chat that my calculations are incorrect here. 8 essence from uranium only gets you 2 ingots, and so we can make 1 batch of 2 ingots, but if we're going to make the induction smelter, we need 8, because we need 2 uranium gears here. Again, is this one of those situations where, can I get slime essence from a block of slime? I don't think I can, unfortunately, and so I think we are just going to have to once again kind of sit over by our mob farm. Let me once again break a bit of tinted glass, and then if we get our tinted glass back, we can hopefully kind of create this little tunnel like this that just makes it a bit darker and increases the number of mobs that spawn. And so, yeah, I just need to kill some more slimes with the scythe here to get more slime essence, to make more uranium, to make the induction smelter. And a little bit of slime killing later. We now have 8 uranium ingots. Fantastic. And so we should be able to make 2 uranium gears, and that should be everything for the induction smelter. Now, the one problem that we're going to run into right away here is that we don't have any power to get this thing up and running. So what we're probably going to want to do, first and foremost, is get ourselves a dynamo, this quest right here. And I think that there are a few dynamos you can pick from, but I think the lapidary dynamo is probably going to be a good idea for us here. It requires 1 silver gear, which we should be able to make, because silver is basically free now with the silver essence. Apparently we don't have any, but that is fine. We've got this guy who can give us an infinite amount of silver essence. Perfect. And that gets us enough for the silver gear. We'll make a few of these just to be safe. And the benefit of the lapidary dynamo is that it can run on lapis. And we have got a ton of lapis ready to go. And so if we do, ideally, something like this, we can then just whack lapis into there, and we are good. There is also the Gourmand Dynamo, which runs on food, which is also probably a really good idea, actually. We do have, of course, the nutrient bricks, and so we could also do something like this and throw down the Gourmand Dynamo, and I'm pretty sure that throwing nutrient bricks into this guy does produce power as well, which is also pretty good. So either of these will work. We do need multiple for multiple machines, so that should be fine. And now that we have the induction smelter, we can work our way down through here. So bronze is copper and tin, if I'm not mistaken. It is indeed copper we have, and tin we have the essence for, and we also have in our system. Perfect. So boom, and sneaky tap gets us bronze. Perfect. We then want amethyst bronze, which is copper and amethyst, maybe? Oh no, we made this before. It's in the smeltery. This one is amethyst and copper. Okay, so we'll come back to that one. Invar is usually iron and nickel. It is indeed. Nickel, we don't have. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that we can get nickel essence via clicking on a rune of self-sacrifice. You know what? That's perfect. Oh my goodness. Are these guys... I was going to say, are they multiplying? But they're not. They're just coming out of the... jumping out of the hole, which is actually kind of fine because we do need slime essence for... I guess, I don't know how much more uranium we need. We could probably do with patching up the hole, to be fair. But we have runes of self-sacrifice right here, which is perfect. So let's take all of this, and let's do this. Fantastic. And we'll take those and combine those over in here with some iron. I don't think we need that much in the way of bronze, but if we do, we have it now, which I guess is good. Let's do iron and nickel for Invar. After the Invar, we need Constantan. Constantan, I assume, is nickel and amethyst bronze. Okay, so amethyst-wise, we have a couple of these, and copper we also have a decent amount of, so let's take those and let's go throw them into the smeltery. Real quick, let me fix this. We're gonna do a quick tinted glass patch up here, like that, because I don't wish to get completely overrun with slime. Although if you're looking for slime essence, this is not a bad strategy. Just kind of open your mob farm a little bit and let them flow out. But if we head on back up here, we should be able to put everything in. I'm going to try and get exactly 1 bucket of amethyst bronze. We can make amethyst bronze, actually. Never mind. With bronze essence and amethyst essence. Bronze essence we have. It's copper and tin. That's probably fine. Yeah, copper block. And, of course, we have the acceleration rune. So, you know what? That's probably a better way of doing it, actually. The smeltery is not bad. But given that we can very quickly do this and this, and then from there we can just do this and this to get a bunch of copper and tin essence, we can then just run all of that through the biolamp, which is pretty fast, like this and like this, especially when we use our temporal pouch, like that. The smeltery can also be fast. The trouble with the smeltery is just that it requires fuel, and whilst we do have that molten copper in there currently, that's not going to last forever. And then from there, we just need amethyst essence, which we also have an infinite amount of now. Boom and boom, like that. That's going to get us amethyst bronze essence, which we can then, of course, just craft into amethyst bronze. Cool. And then back over here, we're going to combine that amethyst bronze with Invar, like this. That's going to get us the Constantan. We also needed a ruby dust, I guess, which is bronze and amethyst. Okay, that makes sense. Again, I don't know how many of all of these we're going to need, but bronze we did just make. I'll take some of that back out of the system, and we'll just make one of those for now to complete the quest. Boom and boom. We can always make more of these should we need them in the not-so-distant future. That gets us the ruby dust. We'll make more of that just in case we need it again. And then what else do we need? We now need the steel. The steel requires the pyrolyzer. The pyrolyzer requires the Constantan. So Constantan-wise, we got 2. I need more Constantan, which is more amethyst and Invar. Let's do that, and let's make that faster. We need 8 of those in total to make the Constantan gears. Perfect. And again, I'll stop that just in case we need more of those resources. And with those Constantan gears, we should now have everything that we need to make the pyrolyzer. We'll do 1 and 2 and boom. Just need 1 more flux coil. Perfect. Let's throw that down right about here. And in here, we can put coal and convert that coal into coke. And that coke is required in the production of steel, which is here. Steel in this pack requires iron in ingot form and coke. Coke we have in here. We can combine that with the iron in here. Again, make it a tiny bit faster. And that gets us steel. Perfect. And then the steel can be combined with the bronze to make electrum. Yep, steel and bronze makes electrum, although we have electrum ingots, right? Electrum essence. Can I just do this? I can't. You have to use the induction smelter. Okay, fine. Steel and bronze. And again, a quick tap to make it very fast because I'm impatient. And with that, we're getting close, thankfully. Lumium ingots, we definitely have the ability to just craft, and we have them already. And then signalum ingots, it's also kind of the same deal. We've got rose gold here, which is electrum and ruby dust. That's fine. So we've got electrum here and ruby dust here. Still got the speed upgrade, which is good. And then now, signalum can be made with rose gold and lumium. And you know what? I'll do that. We don't have enough essence for the other craft, and so let's just take the rose gold and lumium and put both those in there. Perfect. Like that. And that should be signalum, but then we need 2 blocks of signalum, so we need 18 signalum in total if we want to make this work. It looks like, annoyingly, you can't use signalum essence to craft signalum ingots, and so, essentially, what I now need to do is kind of work my way back down that chain again, but just making everything in bulk. And once we've done that, once we've made 18 signalum, we should then be able to get the blast chiller to make ice, to make the ruby essence. Alright, so a little bit of smelting later. We're just working on some rose gold ingots here, and we can make that even faster, power permitting, which it appears not to be. But that gets us 10 rose gold ingots, which I think is good. If we combine those 10 rose gold ingots with these lumium ingots, which again is only going to work if we have the power for it, which currently we do not, because I've tried to make this too fast. I've made it 16 times speed and it's not capable of doing that. One thing I guess we could do is we could move the food dynamo over like that to try and double up on the amount of power that we're giving it. And then this time around, if we go slightly slower, maybe just 4x speed, that's going to hopefully get us more, again, not enough power, eh? Oh no, I'm a fool. I can just speed these up, right? Yeah, that works. That's much better than what I was trying to do. But that should get us enough signalum to make the blast chiller, and I'm hopeful that everything else should be pretty straightforward. Another machine frame is very easy for us to do. 2 invar gears we can do with the invar we made earlier. Another redstone flux coil is very straightforward, and at that point, it's just 2 blocks of signalum, and would you look at that, we calculated it perfectly. Boom, boom, and boom. Lovely. Let's put that down, let's say right about here, where this guy currently is. Let's do that and this, and let's make sure that doesn't connect, even though I'm fairly certain that nothing is going to end up in there, but just to be safe, we'll do something like that. And we'll also do something like this to make sure this has power. But now that we have this, it should just be a case of taking a bucket, which we now no longer have any of because we used it all on making the charging room behind me. But if we do one of these, and of course, one of these, and one of these, that should begin chilling that 1 bucket of water into 1 block of ice. And then if we take that ice, finally, and add it to our wall here, we can right-click to get ice essence. We already have the fire essence, and so now going back all the way to diamond essence, for the diamond essence, this is what we need. We need osmium and rock crystal. Rock crystal, oh, of course, the ice melts, right. Okay, fine. Anyway, back over here, ice, we are trying to make osmium. Osmium requires titanium. Titanium requires tungsten. Tungsten requires fiery ingots and ice ingots. I believe we got fiery ingots. We did. Not many of them. Oh, sorry, fiery essence. We did, but not many of them. So fiery plus ice gets us tungsten. And then tungsten plus steel gets us titanium. So steel we have. Let's do steel and tungsten. That's going to get us titanium. Titanium can then get us osmium via mithril, but mithril also needs titanium and chrome. So chrome we combine it with the titanium to get mithril. I'm just going to do 1 for now. And then mithril plus titanium gets us osmium. Osmium plus, did that make something? Oh, that was going to make something. I don't want to find out what it was though, because I don't need it. But we need the rock crystal right here with the osmium. And finally, that gets us diamond essence. I think 4 diamond essence is enough. We then craft the diamond essence up. It's ruby essence that we're after. But I believe, finally, chat, we have what it takes. Oh no, we need 3 of them. Redstone essence, thankfully, is easy enough. But I think we are going to need maybe 1 more thing of diamond essence. We'll find out just in a second here. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. We're good. Perfect. Oh no, wait, we are good. 3. Perfect. Let's do this, this, and, of course, this. Offhand with the ruby. Chat. Boom. It's just that easy. We have the Philosopher's Stone, and with it marks the beginning of our voyage into the mod that is Project E. Next time, chat, we'll come back and we'll look at getting maybe the transmutation table. We'll definitely look at working with the energy condensers. These are going to allow us to start duplicating items, utilizing their EMC value so that going forward, we can get Signalum without having to go through that entire chain of crafting every single time. And we can also duplicate machines as well, which is going to be tremendously useful so we don't have to keep making, you know, more uranium and more Signalum for some of those machines if we need more of them in the future. But, of course, that is a problem for future Isaac. For now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of Project Sacrifice there.